Jerusalem, 1099. The Crusaders massacre 70,000 Muslims and Jews. Al-Aqsa Mosque becomes a stable for horses. The Muslim world lies shattered and divided, but from this darkness emerged a light. A man whose name meant light of faith. A sultan so just that Christians preferred his courts. A warrior who never missed a prayer on the battlefield. A leader so humble he earned his living as a carpenter while ruling an empire. This is the story of Nūr ad-Dīn Zengī, the man who united the Muslims, revived Jihad, and paved the way for Salahuddin to liberate Jerusalem. Nūr ad-Dīn Mahmud ibn Zengī was born in February 1118 in Damascus, 19 years after Jerusalem's fall. His father, Imad ad-Din Zengī, was the powerful Atabeg of Mosul and Aleppo, one of the few Muslim leaders actively resisting the Crusaders. Unlike princes raised in luxury, Nūr ad-Dīn received a comprehensive Islamic education. He memorized the Quran, studied under great scholars, and trained as a warrior. But what set him apart was his extreme piety from youth. While other nobles enjoyed entertainment, he spent nights in prayer and fasted regularly beyond Ramadan. In 1144, when Nūr ad-Dīn was 26, his father achieved the impossible, recapturing Edessa from the Crusaders. It was the first major Muslim victory in 45 years. The Muslim world was electrified, but just 2 years later, Zengī was assassinated by his own servant. At age 28, Nūr ad-Dīn inherited Aleppo. Many expected the young pious prince to fail. The Crusaders prepared to expand their territories. They had no idea who they were dealing with. From day one, Nūr ad-Dīn revolutionized Islamic leadership. He declared the state treasury belonged to the Muslims, not him personally. He took only a modest salary and lived simply. But he didn't just talk. He worked as a carpenter, making prayer mats and Quran stands with his own hands. He sold them in the market and lived off the income. When advisors protested, he replied, "On the day of judgment, I want to stand before Allah and say I earned my sustenance honestly." His first test came quickly. In 1148, the massive Second Crusade arrived, led by the kings of France and Germany, intent on conquering Damascus. Despite past conflicts with Damascus's rulers, Nūr ad-Dīn immediately marched to defend the Muslim city. The siege lasted only 4 days. Nūr ad-Dīn's forces cut supply lines and launched devastating raids. The mighty European armies retreated in humiliation after just 96 hours. The Second Crusade was a complete disaster, and Nūr ad-Dīn had announced himself as Islam's new champion. His justice became legendary. Once, a Christian woman complained that a Muslim soldier wronged her. Nūr ad-Dīn investigated, punished the soldier, and compensated her. When advisors suggested favoring Muslims, he replied, "Allah commands justice for all his creatures." Stories like this spread. Christian and Jewish communities thrived under his rule. Even Crusader chronicles admit Christian peasants fled into Nūr ad-Dīn's lands, preferring his justice to their own lord's tyranny. Nūr ad-Dīn understood that only a united Muslim front could expel the Crusaders. For 6 years, he worked to unite Syria, not through tyranny, but through justice that won hearts. In every city, he reformed courts, appointed honest judges, and made himself accessible to the poorest subjects. In 1154, Damascus opened its gates to him voluntarily. For the first time in half a century, Syria was united under one Muslim authority. His military campaigns were brilliant. In 1149, at the Battle of Inab, he defeated and killed Prince Raymond of Antioch. He captured fortress after fortress, systematically squeezing the Crusader territories. But Nūr ad-Dīn knew military victories alone weren't enough. He established a vast network of madrasas throughout his realm, reviving Islamic learning. He built hospitals providing free healthcare to everyone regardless of religion. He constructed caravanserais, repaired roads, and restored mosques. He reformed the economy, ensuring fair trade and banning corruption. Under Nūr ad-Dīn, Syria experienced a renaissance. Scholars flourished, trade boomed, justice prevailed, and most importantly, the spirit of jihad was revived. The demoralized Muslim world began to believe again that Jerusalem could be liberated. By the 1160s, one piece remained: Egypt. The declining Fatimid Caliphate was weak and collapsing. Both Nūr ad-Dīn and the Crusaders recognized that whoever controlled Egypt's wealth and strategic position would dominate the entire region. Nūr ad-Dīn sent his trusted general Shirkuh to Egypt, along with Shirkuh's young nephew, an officer named Salah ad-Din, known to us as Saladin. After multiple campaigns, Shirkuh became Egypt's vizier in 1169 but died 2 months later. The 31-year-old Saladin was appointed the new vizier. Under Nūr ad-Din's strategic guidance, Saladin consolidated power. Then came the historic moment. On September 10, 1171, Saladin abolished the Fatimid Caliphate. For the first time in 2 centuries, Egypt returned to the Sunni Muslim mainstream. Nūr ad-Din had achieved his masterpiece. From Mosul to Cairo, the Muslim world was united. The Crusader states were surrounded on 3 sides. The stage was set for Jerusalem's liberation, but tensions emerged between Nūr ad-Din and Saladin. Nūr ad-Din wanted immediate campaigns against the Crusaders, while Saladin focused on consolidating Egypt. Some historians suggest Saladin was becoming too independent. Nūr ad-Din began preparing to march to Egypt personally to assert his authority. What made Nūr ad-Din extraordinary wasn't just conquest, it was his character. He never missed the 5 daily prayers even during battles. Soldiers saw him pray with arrows falling around him. Absorbed in connection with Allah, he fasted frequently, spent nights in worship, and lived with stunning simplicity. Despite ruling from Iraq to Egypt, his residence was simple, his clothes plain, his food basic. Visiting dignitaries were shocked that the most powerful Muslim ruler lived more modestly than a merchant. In Damascus, craftsmen worked on a magnificent wooden minbar, an ornately carved pulpit that Nūr ad-Din commissioned specifically for Al-Aqsa Mosque. He ordered it kept ready for the day Jerusalem would be reconquered. It was a physical manifestation of his unshakable faith. His routine never changed. Wake before dawn for tahajjud, lead Fajr in the mosque, spend mornings administering justice, afternoons on military planning, evenings in study and worship. He made himself personally accessible to all complainants, ensuring justice was done regardless of status or religion. In May 1174, Nūr ad-Din fell ill with a throat infection in Damascus. Decades of warfare, minimal sleep, and constant fasting had taken their toll. His condition deteriorated rapidly. Even on his deathbed, his thoughts weren't of himself. He worried about Muslim unity, about his young son who would succeed him, about Jerusalem. He advised his commanders to maintain unity above all else. On May 15, 1174, at age 56, Nūr ad-Dīn Zengī died. The man who ruled an empire left a personal estate of exactly 47 dirhams and 1 jar of medicinal wine. Thousands attended his funeral. Muslims, Christians, and Jews wept in the streets. The historian Ibn al-Athir wrote, "After the rightly guided caliphs, the people had not been so shaken by any death. Nūr ad-Din never saw Jerusalem liberated, but he made it possible." 13 years after his death, in 1187, Saladin, using the unified state Nūr ad-Din built, the armies he trained, the resources he gathered, and the Islamic revival he initiated, defeated the Crusaders at Hattin and reconquered Jerusalem. When Saladin entered Al-Aqsa, he installed the minbar Nūr ad-Din had commissioned decades earlier. It was Nūr ad-Din's presence in that great victory. His legacy transcends conquest. He proved that Islamic revival required spiritual renewal, not just military strength. That leaders must serve, not rule. That justice must be absolute. That unity trumps personal ambition. Even Crusader historians respected him. William of Tyre wrote, "Nūr ad-Din was a just prince, valiant and wise, and according to his traditions a religious man. From privileged prince to humble sultan who worked as a carpenter. From fractured realm to united empire. From warrior who never missed prayer to judge who gave justice to all. Sultan Nūr ad-Dīn Zengī truly was the light of faith in an age of darkness. The man whose vision, justice, and sacrifice laid the foundation for Jerusalem's liberation and showed the Muslim Ummah the path back to true Islamic principles. May Allah have mercy on him and elevate his status in Jannah."